This is a message from your guides reading for the Andromedan. Okay, so let's go ahead and surround us in some positive space. So the first thing is your crown chakra is doing really well. It's not too open, it's not too closed. So it's in the perfect balance right now. And it's spinning around, but it feels like a lot of creative ideas are flowing. Okay, so this tells me that a lot of your ideas are really coming to you from your higher self, from your guides. And I definitely feel an Andromedan guide that is helping you with a lot of your creativity, which makes sense just because of I've already talked to you some about it, about Andromedans and their minds and everything. Oh, geez, I just remembered you had another question about Andromedans. Gosh, she was probably just coming in, even with that, to just remind me of that. You wanted to know more about your home planet and mainly Andromedans and things like that. I have another question up here. I didn't even see that because there's so many emails of yours with different questions, so I tried to like grab them all. Okay, but yeah, I never would have remembered that question. Okay, so this turquoise, this corresponds with the throat chakra. And it would actually be really good for you to have turquoise around you or even other throat chakra stones. I do feel like especially turquoise, but any kind of light bluish stone like this, um, or even like a lapis lazuli, that a lot of times is for the throat chakra as well. It can be for third eye also. But this is a really good chakra to be working on for the reason that it has a lot to do with creativity. It has a lot to do with expansion and with putting out yourself, putting out your true identity, knowing who you are, expressing who you are. So it has a lot to do with your awareness of self, your ability to communicate who you are with others, your ability to communicate your vision, but also there's a lot of willpower in the throat chakra, which you definitely need right now. And there's a lot of creativity, a lot of intuition and creativity. A lot of artists actually have a very strong throat chakra. Let's see what else comes through here. Oh, okay, so I think this Andromedan guide, I don't think I've met this guide before. Um, I don't know if I have. Even if I have, even if they came through, I don't think that they spoke a lot. Um, so before I go into more about what, is this a he or a she? I think it's a she. I'm going to say what she wants to say. I'll correct myself later if I need to. But before I get more into that, okay, so you have 5 crystals here. So this is my fuchsite. So a lot of healing with this stone and information coming through. Okay, so when you couple it with other stones, because this can really be information about a lot of different things and it can heal a situation. So if you need healing in some other area and you're coupling this with another stone, Like if I'm coupling it with turquoise and I need creative ideas, I need this kind of information to flow through, or I need money information regarding that to flow through, then that will work. Okay, so this might be a mookaite. Okay, a mookaite jasper. Someone just recently told me that. I'm not 100% sure, just because I have no idea what this thing is. Um, but someone else apparently has a mookaite, and they're pretty sure that that is what this jasper is. And I'm going to look that up. I haven't had time to look up anything or do much of anything. Baby readings, wolf, baby readings, wolf. It's just, anyway, so this is my green fluorite here. And then this is a piece of one of my selenite wands. Okay, so those are the crystals here. Okay, so this has a lot to do with clearing though, and higher energies coming in, especially clearing. I feel clearing for this. And this here again is healing, but also calming. Okay, and your guides are saying that you need to relax. You need to trust in the infinite universe, the infinite supply of the universe. You need to trust your guidance, trust that everything will work out, everything will find its place. That doesn't mean that you don't need to do things, your guides are saying, but those things will come to you. But one thing is to have crystals that will strengthen this chakra, to have more creative ideas flowing. And to also generate them more from yourself as well. You want to have them coming from you as well, not only from your guides or your higher self. And I don't feel like it's only coming from them, and definitely they are working with you and the creative abilities that you have, but it just feels like this needs to be strengthened, and this sense of self needs to be strengthened, and even then they can give you more. It doesn't even really matter if even if all of it came from your guides. That's not really the point. It's that you're going to get more ideas yourself, and even your guides are going to be able to get more ideas through to you if this is strengthened. But I feel like they're working with you. And I feel like some of these ideas you've already had, maybe even for a long time, I feel like they're helping you come to some concrete solutions, and they're helping you expand upon those. And that's what they have been doing for a little while now, it feels like. So it feels like this is finally coming together, but there's this feeling that not really yet, because it feels like you are figuring this out as you go along. That's what it feels like. There's this feeling of Alice, and she's falling down the rabbit hole. She doesn't really know where she's going, where it's leading her, but she jumped down the rabbit hole. Okay, so you've jumped down the rabbit hole and you're doing things that you intuitively feel, okay? And things are also changing as well in your mind, in your emotions, and that's okay. And to just sort of let this kind of free fall, because this is all expanding and it's all becoming concrete. Some things are going to last totally, some things are going to be tweaked, altered, some things are going to be changed pretty much completely as you go along. You're going to add some things, you're going to take some things away, or you might take some things away. And it feels like this is just the natural flow of how this is going. That's what the energy feels like. And even that feels kind of Andromedan a little bit. Even though Andromedans can be very, very sure at the same time, definitely, they can be certain of themselves, and you're going to get to that that point, that stance with your business, and also just with your life in general. It feels like, and it feels like as this opens up, as your business expands and your business grows, and as well your connection to people and knowing a lot more people, because I feel like this is going to open up avenues where you're talking to more people, you're connecting with more people, and you're being more yourself openly in front of people. And I feel like you're going to end up with true friends out of this who have the same interests and who feel the same ways about these things as you do, about these ideas that you have. You're going to find people who have those same types of ideas, and they resonate with um, conclusions that you've come to. They resonate with your ideas. And I feel like you're going to meet people that you really see eye to eye with, that you really resonate with. And you're going to build a sort of soul family, which I don't feel like you've really had yet. I feel like you've sort of tried to step into that, or maybe there's been some kind of almost false sense of that a little bit. False just in the sense of you can try and feel that way, but they're not really soul family. You can have friends that see you, but they're still not going to see you in the same way or to the same depth. That soul family is going to see you. So those connections are coming as you step more into yourself. So this is also this journey of becoming more and more of who you are, um, and letting go of who you're not. So it's not just stepping into a financial and creative flow where you are more secure, where you have more of a foundation physically, or even mentally and emotionally. Um, Also, spiritually, you're going to be uncovering who you are more through this journey. You're going to be seeing yourself a lot more because you're going to be allowing yourself to be. You're going to allow yourself to be open in front of others. And that's really an important part, an important step on the path of knowing who you are and finding yourself, is being open with others. And that can definitely be a challenge, and sometimes it isn't appropriate yet at a certain point on people's paths. But at some point, that's always going to end up coming to fruition. It's always going to end up becoming important. And if not, people just end up feeling really alone and burdened. So, in other words, after a while, you have to be yourself, or there's just this collapse, there's this shutdown. So, your guides want you to be who you are and express who you are, and that's what's unfolding. And as that unfolds, this security is going to be happening at the same time, and this foundation, and also this creative flow, which is part of who you are. This creative flow that you have, this creativity, this is definitely part of who you are. With your music, with your art, and also just your intuition and your personality. This is all a part of who you are that you're stepping more into by delivering it in an open way, by showing it to others in an open way. So your guides are saying that you are being open to who you are by openly showing it to others. And that's also a message to do that, to continue doing that, and to do that more and more. Your guides are kind of showing me something a little bit random now. So they're showing me an oracle deck. Um, and they're saying that they would like to be communicating with you, and I feel like with an oracle deck, one that you resonate with, where you feel the messages, you feel the cards, I feel like they could speak to you in an even more open way. Maybe they are doing that to a degree, but I feel like it could be more, where they could give you more messages, and I feel like you would do this in a creative space, and this would be with like reading a book, reading the interpretations, and also obviously getting feelings from your guides and from the cards as well. But even just literally going by the book, one that you resonate with, and reading the messages, pulling the cards intuitively and then reading the messages. And I feel like they could get through to you more. And I also feel like they're kind of searching for um, ways to get through to you more. They're trying to work with you. How can we get through to her mind? How can we talk to her more? How can we guide her more? There's even a feeling like through this is the reason that you are so attracted to getting one reading after the other. It's it's for that purpose as well. It's like your guides are searching for different avenues, ways that they can communicate with you more. But I feel like they want to do it personally as well, where they can communicate with you one-on-one directly. And I get a feeling of feelings, um, that you get intuitive nudges, and they come more as feelings. They come as inspirations. But I feel like you definitely work more empathically with your guides and more clairsentiently. So you pick up on feelings, a feeling of what to do. And I feel like that's the general way that they communicate with you, more than all the other gifts. It really feels like that is one of the ways that they specifically communicate with you. Okay, so to talk a little bit more about Andromedans, what your guides are saying, and specifically what this Andromedan guide is saying, is that Andromedans have big minds. And even physically, they have big brains. But they have big minds. And there's a lot of information going on in there. And they can think of a lot of different things at once. And they want to be able to communicate that, that information. And they want to be able to communicate that mental expression and that emotional expression. So as much input as there is in here, there's at the same time all of this output. So this, so this is someone who either just can't figure out what to do, okay, because they want to put their head in one spot at one time, or they figure out to let go and do 20 things at once and figure out how they can do them all and how they can all work together, how they can all work towards the same goal. And so by doing that now, you're also being yourself. By creating a business where you can add things and you can just let this intuitive energy flow, and like they were saying, some of it lasts and you keep doing those things forever with this business, and then some things you drop and you let those go and you add something new to replace it, or maybe you don't replace it. And this even is an Andromedan thing that's happening. It's actually that side of you coming through. She's also saying that they have large eyes. So she's saying they have large eyes, they have large faces, and just heads in general. Their heads, their face, their eyes are large. And this is to support all the data that is in their minds, which is coming through their physical brain. So she's saying that their brain is really big, their mind is even bigger, and all of this information is flowing through them and they want to put it out. And she's saying that's kind of the story of an Andromedan. This is how their energy is, and they're not going to be satisfied with one thing. Or if they are, well, they're not. But if they're okay with having a main thing, it's because they're still finding out ways, they're still finding ways to manage doing all these other things that they love. So even if they don't feel like that should be their main thing, and they do have one main thing, they're still going to have all of these hobbies, they're going to have all these friends, and they're going to constantly be outputting. that's how it's coming in, outputting. They are going to put out what's being taken in. So they're saying that it's natural for this to flow down through you. It's natural for you to connect to your guides in this way. It's natural for you to connect to yourself in these ways, your current self, and also other expressions of yourself, your higher self. So other higher versions of yourself, your reality, in other words. That's what I call it. But really that's because that's what the council that I channel calls it. think I have another guide coming up. I was like, why did the information just stop for a second? So this guide is just saying free, free, free yourself. Be as free as you can be. Expand your mind in various ways. And this is the nature of an Andromedan, and this is what will make you happy. To feel like you're constantly learning, to feel like you are constantly moving forward in the way of expressing yourself with your passions. And if you're not doing that, you are going to be really unhappy. And you are going to feel stuck. So there's really no way around this. So your guides are also encouraging you that this was really the right choice. This was the right decision because this is something that's going to be lasting. And it's going to help you improve your life because it's lasting, because you found what brings you joy. Even if it changes, even if it's tweaked, that's only going to add to the same energy. It's only going to be out of the same place, which is Andromeda, which is this Andromedan energy that you're carrying. Okay, so the forgetting thing. Okay, so one thing your guides are saying is that as you step more into your own energy, sometimes you can get into states where you're very present. You're much more present than you're used to being for the reason that you're outputting all the time, for the reason that you're constantly putting out the energy that's coming in. It's not being stuck. And so then rather than your mind having to go here and here and here and here and here, to sort of satisfy yourself by your mind going in a million directions because you're not and you're feeling stuck. Instead of it doing that, it's able to focus on this thing that you're doing and this thing and this thing, this exciting thing, okay, this stimulating thing. It's mentally stimulating. And so your mind doesn't have to be so stuck. And so this generates a lot of present energy. And when you're that much in your reality and in the present, sometimes you can forget things just because of how present you are being. Like sometimes a dog, for instance, will forget something 5 minutes later. The only reason is because it's completely not thinking about it anymore. It is totally on to the new present thing in the new present moment. Whatever's happening there, that's what it's thinking about. Now, if it goes back to that thing, then it will remember it and it will use that. It will use that memory. So the memory is stored, but it's not necessary right then. And your guides are saying, now sometimes it is necessary, and so that can be a little annoying, but what they're saying is that you're just not really used to functioning this way yet. You're not used to being more in the present than you were. And they're saying it's not like you're completely, totally in the present, like your mind still doesn't go in 20 directions ever, or you don't think about something else, but they're saying that mainly you are much more focused than you were. And um, to a high degree, they're saying you're very present because of all these different things that you are doing in a creative way where you feel expanded and you feel that you can put your mind to something that you enjoy and that works for you. Okay, oh yeah, our time is up. Okay, so thank you very much. That is all that your guides have to say for now. Thank you for allowing me to connect with them and do this reading for you. And I truly hope that it benefits you.